Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out these headlines. Maxine Waters says lies are spreading about FTX and subpoenas. We're going to talk about it. Staurt Alderoty slams the SEC Ripple case FUD coming from Coindesk. We got the House of Representative Richie Torres sends a scathing letter. You're going to want every single bit of it. And the real reason Gary Gensler failed to uncover the FTX SBF debacle, I will explain. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out, you can follow us on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. Right now, $878 billion market cap for crypto. It's up 0.4%. Bitcoin, 16,800 plus right now. Ethereum, 1243 and 1 penny. We see the Tether market cap, Tether alert, we're at $65 billion market cap plus. We'll keep an eye on it. XRP, 38 cents, ladies and gentlemen. Do we believe that the Tether market cap will remain the same? This crypto market gets clarity and nothing comes of Tether showing the books, having a separate third-party accounting firm vouch, prove it out. The Department of Justice just says, you know what? Just keep selling a product of the Federal Reserve known as the US dollar in digital form. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Global Investor Conference, ladies and gentlemen, it's happening now. Don't mess around. And later today at 2 p.m. Eastern time, this guy right here is going to be there too. And I'm going to be on the panel, and it's a pleasure and a privilege and an honor to be able to speak to people on the Global Investor Conference. You can sign up for free as well. Go to globalinvestorconference.com and sign up today. It is going to be an excellent panel, and it's been running for the last couple of days, and it has been an incredible sharing of information, knowledge, and conversations. Make sure you sign up and check that out. We're looking for you today when you come in, 2 to 3 p.m. And don't forget, obviously, link2.com puts all this on. You can get private equity on the platform if you're accredited. It doesn't last long. Yesterday, I went and did it. Yeah, I told everybody in the private group last night, you know what? I had to do it. I just went and got Polly signed. It was breaking news to Mrs. Backup too. Shh, she'd probably get mad about it, but it's okay. I'm doing it for us. It's for the family. Right here, we see over 4 billion XRP sent out on Bittrex exchange by Anon whales. Now, I saw this yesterday evening, and I was like, Aruga, with the eyes and the glasses jumping off. Boy, that is a lot. Look, an anonymous whales. We don't know where it goes. Something's going on, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, we're going to get into some stuff here. The second largest bank in Japan, Sumitomo Bank, plans to trial soul-bound tokens for identifying verification. Japan has been making big strides in Web3 experimentation and research. Now, it's a very slippery slope in this digital world when you talk about going from digital identity and being able to control your finances and your personal information, and then things slipping to, you can't come into the store because you didn't do the certain thing that the government asked you to do. Wink, wink. Vanguard says they quit Net Zero Climate Alliance. Well, listen, I'm all for a cleaner planet. I really am. Do your own part. But I'll tell you this, when it comes to the planet, and the water line, back in the 80s, I remember in the 90s, they were telling us that, everything was going to be underwater, and it's not underwater. And what I know now is that there isn't one prospectus, there isn't one mortgage, one business loan on the coastline that is not being written because of the threat of climate control. Now, I'm a guy who comes from following the money. Again, I love a clean planet. I try to do my part. I don't litter, right? The world should work collectively together to have a smaller footprint. But I tell you, it is a slippery slope again coming at us from the climate side of things, where this gets a little funny, because if climate change was really impending doom, like the financial crisis we got hanging over our head, there wouldn't be one bank in the world that would make a loan for coastline property. Look at this. This is a little flash of good news because we got to look at some FUD today. This is the kind of video it is today. This is what we have out here, and we need to get ourselves strong for it because this is a nice contrast to what we're about to look at. Think crypto is none of your business? Think again. This is the latest ad from just a few days ago. Shout out to James Rule. Crypto means business. You damn right it does. And we all know, if we've been in this game with Ripple and XRP a long time, there's about a 40% savings to use the Ripple software for a complement to your business model. But there's a 60 to 70% savings if you go ahead the distance and incorporate XRP into that model. What do you think they're going to do? I know what I think. Everybody's got to make up their own mind. Not financial advice. This is Kevin O'Leary speaking what I believe may be a tinge of the truth for the first time in a few weeks since the FTX collapse. He wants his money back.
He was on a capital raising mission. FTX was the poster child for the industry.
Yeah. Well,
there was essentially a run on the bank.
There's a long lead up. Let's get to Kevin.
Weeks and all this
spokesperson.
Today.
I'll tell you, I feel fortunate. I may sound like a strange comment, but here's why. Because I was a paid spokesperson and an investor in FTX International and FTX US, so I had all those holdings, I never put my LPs into any of it.
So his liquidity providers into any of it. What he's trying to do right now is to say, I'm still a safe place to come and invest with me, everyone, because I'm a billionaire. I didn't get any of my liquidity providers hurt in this bad decision that I made. Keep listening.
Particularly on, so my partners, the people that I'm a fiduciary for, there isn't a single cent of their money in FTX. And so it's all my personal money. So I'm not happy about that, but.
And everybody that you chanted and cheered and told to go do it in retail, their money too, Kevin.
I'm fortunate in the sense that the challenge for anybody now that is involved as a fiduciary is to explain what happened. So I can go on my own journey to find out what happened, but it's all on me. The issue here is there is no information. And so there's, as you said, allegations about this, allegations about that, how the run on the bank occurred, all alleged. The FTX accounts that we have in my holding company have been swept of all assets and all transaction data. Now somebody has the key to the server, somebody, and we don't know who it is. And it won't just be the pressure from me that's going to search for that, because I cannot provide a forensic audit to a regulator or to my own compliance department or to my accountants until I have that data back. And I have an army of lawyers, a good balance sheet. I told all my lawyers, phaser's on stun for now, until we get where the money went, because it was swept out of those accounts. And now when I find out where it went, I'm going to go get it. But I don't know where it is right now. And that is the same for every single institution that has an account there. So,
and every retail customer. And this guy was doubling down when the mess first went on and said, I'd work with Sam again. But now he's starting to change his tune a little bit because he can't figure out where his money actually is. And he was okay when he couldn't figure out when your money was. But now that he can't figure out where his money is, things are starting to take a turn. And look here, here's somebody else starting to take a turn. Yeah, get that money out your pocket, lady. Representative Maxine Waters says lies are circulating CNBC that I am not willing to subpoena SBF. Well, you damn sure took the money. And the only question now is the burning question, Maxine Waters, is did you give the FTX Sam Bankman-Fried money back? It's a yes or no. Did you give the money back? Because if you didn't give the money back, it can't mean anything else other than if you don't subpoena him, put him in jail, do the things that need to be done. If it was me doing it, I'd have already been gone. I'd have this conversation behind bulletproof glass at a prison center, at a visitation center, right? Mm-hmm. More FUD to the Ripple SEC case. Staurt Alderoty comes out and says detractors should first understand the Ripple argument before debunking them. Coindesk comes at it with an op-ed here And we know Coindesk has been unfavorable to Ripple and XRP from day one. They have only covered it when they've absolutely had to, because they're bought and paid for. Staurt Alderoty says yesterday's coin, and I want to make this really clear. I have never shilled a token. I cover Ripple XRP because I am passionate about it. I sell products, I sell services that I use. I have never shilled a token to my audience. You know why? Because even if you report it and do it legally, if it goes bad, it's on you. I catch enough crap when the market's down because I'm a perma bull. I'm permanently bullish on the technology in this space. So, disclaimer on that, it's like, there's a lot of other channels out here in the world that, have shilled tokens and gotten money and didn't reveal that. I have never done that, and you guys know that. I'll show you products and services all day long, but I do not shill tokens. I've never received money for that. And here, this is why I say Coindesk is bought and paid for, because they have avoided this case at all costs. But here's what they do when they do put their energy out. And Staurt Alderoty sets the record straight. He says, I'm glad even the detractors recognize that the SEC's invitation to come in and register is like trying to take a Ford Model T into space. But if you're going to try to debunk Ripple's legal positions, at least understand them first. Staurt Alderoty has this incredible way of writing so politely that you're an idiot without actually saying you're an idiot. As it clearly states in our briefs, Ripple does not depend on a conclusion that XRP was purchased for use, though such a conclusion, as shown by amici briefs and the non-speculative evidence, would defeat the SEC's claims. Our actual arguments: there is no contract for an investment between Ripple and any XRP holder. Amen. B, the SEC cannot satisfy a single prong of the Howey test, and Ripple concedes not a single prong. C, the SEC's reliance on garden variety ICO cases have no application here. The reason the SEC and detractors try to recast our arguments is they have no answer for the arguments we actually make. That's what Ripple's paying the money for. He's got it. Staurt got it on lock. And in a scathing letter to the U.S. Comptroller General Congressman Richie Torres requests that USGAO conduct an independent review into the SEC and Gary Gensler himself. You're going to want every bit of this. Go Richie Torres. If the SEC has the authority Mr. Gensler claims, why did he fail to uncover the largest crypto Ponzi scheme in history? Richie Torres wrote. I'm going to read the whole thing, but I tell you what, you want this part, I'll tell you that. Woo-wee. Chair Gary Gensler, by the logic of his own public pronouncements, is singularly responsible for the regulatory failures surrounding the collapse of FTX and its affiliate FTX US. Chair Gensler has said on countless occasions that there is no need for authorizing legislation from Congress. The SEC presently possesses the authority it needs to regulate crypto exchanges. If the SEC has the authority, Mr. Gensler claims, why did he fail to uncover the largest crypto Ponzi scheme in U.S. history? One cannot have it both ways, asserting authority while avoiding accountability. It is on Congress to pass laws, but once the necessary laws have been enacted, it is on the regulators to apply those laws to conduct investigations, and protect the public. When it comes to FTX, Chair Gensler fundamentally failed as a regulator, and he has no one but himself to blame. Boy, oh boy, do we like Richie Torres. Yes, we do. And this is a lawyer right here that is going to break down exactly the point and reveal to you that she's a lawyer in the blockchain space too, by the way. Anessa Allen Santos, I believe, is who this is. And shout out to her for this information. She is going to explain to you through regulatory filings and procedures that it is impossible for anyone in the know of regulation in the agencies, or whether it was any institutions or investors that absolutely knew that there was funny business going on. Take a listen to this.
I'm attorney Inessa Allen Santos, and I specialize in representing blockchain and fintech companies just like FTX. And I also do white-collar defense, which would be for financial crimes like Sam Bankman-Fried should be facing. Here's what I want to tell you about this situation. They knew. Everybody knew. We all knew that this was a scam. I was not surprised. My colleagues were not surprised. My friends in the blockchain community, none of us were surprised. Let me explain to you why. FTX was absolutely registered here in the United States. It's registered in Delaware. There are several companies, affiliated companies, that are registered. FTX is a licensed money transmitter. They had to register with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network on the federal level, and for each of the 50 states in which it operated, not only did it have to register its company as a foreign company because it's a Delaware company, so it's foreign to all of the other 49 states, but then it also had to apply for its money transmitter license. And when you do that, you have to submit this gigantic packet of papers. You have to implement a written anti-money laundering program. You have to have a designated Bank Secrecy Act compliance officer. You have to have regular training for your compliance personnel. You have to keep records of all of the transactions of your company for a period of at least 5 years. You have to submit currency transaction reports, suspicious activity reports. You know that when you set up your FTX account and you had to give them all of your personal identifying information with your driver's license and your photo and all of your contact information, that's called KYC AML. That's know your customer pursuant to anti-money laundering regulations. They have to keep all of that. So they absolutely have records of every single transaction that has ever been conducted. So they can't say, oh, we messed up. We don't know what you did with your funds. They were required to do this, and they're required to have independent audits on an annual basis of this, and they have to prove it to each of the states in order to keep their money transmitter license active. They also have to file for a bond, and in the state of Florida, that's pretty substantial. So at a minimum, there's that bond that people should be able to have access to. I could go on. For example, they're also a registered FINRA broker, and in that capacity, as well as in the capacity of a FinCEN registered money transmitter, they also have to comply with the Graham-Leach-Bliley Act, which has 3 financial privacy rules, the second of which is the safeguards rule. That's administered by the Federal Reserve, the State Bankers Association, and the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, which requires a substantial written information security program for IT safeguards, and they also have to have independent audits. So everybody knew what the heck was going on, and Sam Bankman-Fried absolutely knew. He is lying, and he absolutely should be held criminally liable. Drop me your questions.
I'm telling you, that is remarkable. And what it really means to have knowledge, specific knowledge in an area like law and blockchain and finance and the requirements and all of these things become tells to someone with the right kind of specific knowledge, specialized knowledge like Inessa has here, to tell you that it is absolutely a lie. Everyone knew exactly what was going on. I tell you, it is quite disturbing, ladies and gentlemen. Just as disturbing as this. Now, I've played this clip of Gary Gensler at the MIT talking about the central monopolists. I'm just going to give you a quick clip, and I have something to leave us on here.
And by the way, just replacing one central monopolist with another central monopolist, a lot of commercial banks aren't terribly excited about that. Maybe you're going to have to give some ownership. Maybe you'll have to give 50% of your ownership to the 20 banks that are now, part of this. I mean, there are other ways to build incentive systems. Maybe you put a native token in there, and you give them the native token. So there may be other incentive ways to beat the current monopolist.
He's laughing about it. This is him teaching what we as YouTubers, when we cover here on the channel, and we use things like central monopolist or the system or the powers that be, and we get called conspiracy theorists. But for the brightest minds in the world that go to MIT, they put who used to be the CFTC chairman, And now the SEC chairman, in his interim, they put him at MIT to teach the brightest minds that conspiracy theory is not a conspiracy theory at all. It's the way the world works. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. Make sure you check out all the links underneath the video, the great products and specials I use each and every day. I will catch all of you on the next one.